This is going to be your weekly soulmate twin flame relationship reading. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you. We're going to take a look at the connection between you and your person. We're basically going to have a conversation, and I'm going to help facilitate that talk. So in the comments, please let me know your word of the day, word of the week. We're going to find out how you're feeling and what you'd like to say to each other. Now, before we begin today, I would love to extend a thank you to everyone who wished me a happy birthday the other day. It really means the world to me. I feel so loved and cared for, and I just can't thank you enough. So looking at the energies right now, I would say that they are kind of mixed. You know, there's positive vibes out there because there's a change happening. There's, movement happening. At the same time, there's a bit of fear, a bit of anxiety about what this all means. So I think right now it really depends on your perspective. I mentioned the other day that the shadow period of Mercury retrograde is now behind us, so we can breathe a little bit easier. But that being said, we have a full moon in Pisces partial lunar eclipse happening on Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on where you live in the world. We are doing a full moon Zoom on Monday night at 6 p.m. Eastern if you'd like to join us. It's a 2-hour general collective reading, and you will get a copy of that Zoom as well as a personalized moon reading sent to you by the next new moon, which will happen to be a solar eclipse, October 2nd. We are in for some really interesting times. I think a lot of things are going to be coming to light, conversations that are being had, information being known, and it's what we do with it that's going to matter most. So that being said, let's get the overall themes and messages for this reading. How beautiful is this heart? Love blooms. A romance blossoms into full-blown feelings. Wow. Unfolding, beauty, and possible. Okay. Love, love, love hearing that. Now let's take another card here. Now this is the Luna Witch Moon Oracle, and I feel like some moon energy is important to look at right now because that full moon, boy, we've been feeling it for a little while now. I mean, I don't know how many of you have still had the inability to sleep properly, where you're waking up all night, or I don't know, weird dreams. It's been a trip. Let's see. Ebb and flow, change with the tides, surrender, surge of energy, ebb and flow. Yeah, I want to move forward. Oh, I'm not sure if I should. It's always this back and forth kind of vibes. And let's take one of these cards here to see what is a message between you and your person. Please forgive me. Wow. Thinking about Bryan Adams. Please forgive me. That's a beautiful song. Okay, let's get into it. I've got 2 tarot decks ready. What we're going to be doing is looking at what's going on in your headspace, your person's headspace, your heart space, their heart space, overall energy, underlying energy. Feel free to swap sides if it makes more sense. And, we're going to kind of finish that off with what are the next steps? Like, what are you wanting for the next chapter or the next set of energies? So let's take a look at what's going on right now in your headspace. And we have Judgment. This is a wake-up call. You're thinking about it. You might be thinking it's now or never. You might be wondering, okay, what news am I going to be hearing? What do I need to hear? There could be a battle between what you need to hear and what you want to hear. There is a sounding of the horn here, essentially, okay? So this could be news. This could be time for transformation and change. Let's see what else here. 2 of Swords, a decision. Now, I just want to point out something that I've been mentioning in a few of my readings, and that is that I kind of feel this vibe of October 10th. And it's not that I'm necessarily feeling the 1010 portal, otherwise I would say 1010, but I'm definitely feeling October 10th. Not sure what the astrology is for that day, why I keep hearing it. I've had other people tell me the same thing, actually. So I'm kind of curious if that's something that resonates with you. I don't know. We'll see what happens on October 10th. But I happen to just see the 1010 here on the card, and it reminded me to mention it. So there is a decision here. This also can be a decision point, like a judgment, as in like maybe this is a legality. Maybe this is, a divorce or some sort of business situation. Let's take a look at what's going on in your person's headspace. What are they thinking? 3 of Swords. They're dealing with some sadness right now. Page of Wands. Possibly a fear of going on an adventure, you know, or embarking on something exciting and new. I think that there's some past hurts that are kind of creeping up into the energy. So we'll see what else is happening here. Let's take a look at the heart space. What's going on in the heart space? Ten of Swords. Okay, so a cycle is ending for you. Something is dead, done, and over with. This is almost like saying you couldn't have any more swords in your back, but it also means new beginnings. You know, maybe there's a link here to the please forgive me. There could have been some hurt here that you felt. The High Priestess. The High Priestess is all about signs and synchronicities and ascension. My advice always is to remember that signs and synchronicities should pull you forward, not backward. You know what I mean? We don't want to take signs and bring us back into a comfort zone or under a safety blanket. We want to be in an energy that is new, even though that can be a little bit scary, right? But we don't want to go back to old stuff, old hurts. Like, why would we want to do that to ourselves, you know? But again, I invite you to say, how many rounds do you want to go? Everybody has their own limit, right? So let's see what's going on in your person's heart space. Four of Swords. They're in the process of healing. The one thing that I do like about this is that we went from the Three of Swords to the Four of Swords, so that is a bit of progression. This could also be the need for a timeout or some kind of rejuvenation, rest. Six of Pentacles. It's almost like your person wants balance in their life. You know, this is about an investment. This can also be seen as equal giving and receiving. And let's take a look at what the next steps are on your end. Like, what are you hoping for? You're definitely going through a transformation and change. So let's see. Page of Swords. I feel like you want to lean back and you want to observe. Now, to some extent, leaning back is a good idea. The only problem is the observing part. If you're, you know, watching somebody on social media, doing a song and dance, energetically chasing, obsessively thinking, you know, reading old conversations or looking at old pictures, there's a difference. Okay, so leaning back, you know, observing, trusting the process, that's one thing. But if you are sort of keeping tabs, it can hold you back. And that's why I want you to be careful with those signs and synchronicities that can actually like pull you backwards versus allowing you to get the traction that you're looking for. Let's see what else we need to know here. Yeah, the Queen of Swords. This is the point. Queen of Swords is saying you need to make some boundaries. The next steps are telling you maybe get out of the spying energy if that's something you're engaging in, and be more in the confident energy that says, you know what, these are my limits, or these are my boundaries. You're either going to meet me at this point, or you got to go do what you got to go do. My line that I used many years ago was, you know, go press your luck, no whammies. You have to go live your life. You've got to go figure it out, and this is the risk you take. So it really depends. It also can be about being logical and decisive. You know, we talked about a decision or a judgment. So Page of Swords can be about, you know, deciding. So let's see what else is going on here. What are the next steps that your person is processing here? Five of Swords, they're conflicted. They're conflicted. Interesting that right down this line here, 3, 4, 5 of Swords, there is a bit of conflict. Should I? Shouldn't I? Can I have this? Can I really have this? What do I do? Headaches, you know, battles, put down the sword, you know, why fight? You know, why go through this? And the High Priestess, you're both interesting. It feels like you are a few steps ahead because you're already feeling the High Priestess. You know, they're thinking the next steps. Well, they may not even be aware of those next steps, but they're basically 10 steps behind you on this spiritual journey. That's why you have the awareness that they don't. That's why you want to help so much, because you've been through a lot of the things that they may be currently going through. And therefore, you're wanting to, you know, pull them up the cake, if you know the cake analogy, right? And you can't do that. You can't force anybody's healing. You can't, just because you've been through it does not mean that you can help them with it. The important thing is to focus on your own healing, your own boundaries. So let's take a look at the oracle cards here just to clarify. Let's go back to the headspace, you know, where you have the Two of Swords and Judgment. The magnifying glass. You're trying to get more info and clarity. The only issue with that is you kind of can't sit there forever. You know, I feel like sometimes we're just hoping that something will come through. Now, I have a feeling that whatever's going to come through with this eclipse energy, it's going to be, you know, sudden. I don't think you're going to see it coming. I don't think it's going to come from you spying or observing or necessarily leaning back to observe how one behaves. I think it's going to come out of the blue. You won't anticipate it, and it'll give you some knowledge, and then you have to process what to do with it. You know, as I always say, yeah, knowledge is power, but what you do with that knowledge is even more powerful. So very interesting. It does say larger than life. I mean, something big may be coming in here. Okay, let's take a look at your person's headspace. The rings. You know, I feel like there's this contradictory energy. It's almost like driving with your foot on the brake. And you may have heard me say this many times or use that expression. The fact here is we have heartbreak, right? There's past hurts. And then you've got the Prince of Wands, or Prince of Wands. Well, Prince of Wands is passion in the pants. It's the Knight of Wands, pardon me. There's no mistakes. So maybe somebody's feeling a little spicy over here. But really, the Page of Wands is going on an adventure and being, you know, open and throwing caution to the wind and seeing what happens. And it just feels like there's a little bit of an issue here with commitment. You might be finding that your person is kind of flip-flopping a little bit. Now, I did talk about contracts earlier in regards to, you know, equal giving and receiving, or you know, a judgment possibly of something legal. But I kind of feel like there's a bit of an issue here with commitment. Now, in your heart space, let's clarify that High Priestess. Yeah, you have the crossroad. Number 22 is a master number, right? Master builder. So here's the thing. You have a choice. Are you in the old? Are you in the new? I know I say that very often. I always appreciate it when people say to me that it lives rent-free in their head, because I apply it to any decision I make in my life. It could be the most simple. It could be what I'm having for dinner. You know, maybe in the last few days I've had this meal. That's the old energy. I don't want to be in that energy anymore. I want something different. I want to eat different food, you know? So are you in the old? Are you in the new? In your person's heart space, we looked at that healing energy. Yeah, headache. And I told you, Five of Swords. Five of Swords is a headache. That blue in this card here is the throat chakra. It's also a Virgo card. We are in Virgo season, so it says needing self-care. Something's off. There's an underlying condition. You might find that your person may not be investing as much right now, or they don't have as much capacity, you know, and that's why they need to rest and rejuvenate themselves. But just in this card alone, you know, number 5 and then a 5 of Swords here, that means big changes ahead. I mean, that's very much a tower kind of energy even. And I know a lot of people are having tower moments lately. Let's take a look at the next steps. The moon, there you go. Pisces, full moon in Pisces. You can't even make that up. You know, Pisces is ruled by Neptune, and Neptune can be about illusions. And I made a reading the other day for the chakra reading that had the full moon in Pisces card from the Moonology deck, and it says balance spirituality and practicality. You know, we marry potential, we divorce reality. You've got to be very careful with any illusions or looking for the potential in somebody, right? Because that potential may never come to fruition. You have to look at what is the current situation. So the moon energy is the next step. No surprise there. And let's take a look on your person's end. That conflict, the High Priestess, the baggage. You know, this is that conflict about letting go of the baggage, letting go of the past hurts, or being open to new adventures. That Page of Wands. I mean, pack your bags for something new. The question is, how willing, you know, is your person, or you for that matter, to make some moves? Let me take a Moonology card for each side here, just because we're talking about the full moon in Pisces, the partial lunar eclipse. I'm very curious to know what the energy is going to be leading up to it, like especially Monday night at the full moon Zoom and Tuesday, Wednesday. All right, let's see. Need I say more? I don't even know if I have words. Full moon in Pisces. Balance, spirituality, and practicality. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Oh, man. Emotions are running high. Supermoon. I think it actually is a supermoon. I could be wrong, but I feel like it is. Wow. Wow. I don't even know what to say. You know, this is an energy that says, watch the illusions. Stop looking at the potential. Their emotions are running high, and maybe they're detaching or disconnecting a little bit from them. Maybe they're not investing as much in right now because they just don't have the capacity and they don't know what to do with their emotions. They're definitely feeling something. So, you know what? Just for kicks, let's take one last card. Let's take a Power of Surrender card just to see what in general we need to surrender or surrender to. You know, before I take this card, again, I want to thank all of you for the likes, the comments. Please subscribe to my video or to my channel. It really helps the algorithm. Again, I thank you always for your kindness and support. So let's see, what is this last message? Well, there you go. Surrender outdated beliefs about yourself. Let go of limiting ideas about yourself that originate from the past. Then you can own your power and soar in your life. Wow, I love this so, so much. Well, everyone, I thank you so much again for watching this video. Thank you very much, and I wish you an amazing day.